All right, guys.
What you got to live.
Today, I'm going to talk about when you're building trust in clients and then you lose that trust, okay? I just had a call this morning from Tommy. I won't say his last name. Tommy called me, Tommy Chong. He's one of my longtime clients. And I'd been talking to him for a while. I rewrote him back in fall, and his Aetna didn't get canceled. You know, this happens. It's my fault. So somehow in there, you know, I messed it up. He was still being drafted for both of them to the tune of about an additional $1,193 over that span of time. Sometimes it's annoying that people don't catch that earlier, but that is, you know, still my issue. So I get with Aetna first, try to get them to refund it. Tell them, oh, he's got coverage elsewhere. They agree to refund it. They send a check 30 days in. He doesn't have the check. So I have them reissue the check, send him screenshots from where they're talking about it. Another 30 days go by, he still doesn't have the check, right? So I'm going to write him the check for it. And then just hope when he eventually does get a check, because I'm still going to keep complaining to Aetna that he hasn't gotten a check, that he comes back and, you know, pays me back, you know, the difference. But it takes a long time to get the trust of this guy. I still remember I was in B&I with him, and I write him a policy, and it took me forever to get him okay with going Aetna over Blue Cross. And he's liked it from a coverage standpoint ever since, but now he's losing faith in him. And he's a lawyer, so he's, you know, he also threatened, I have to take legal action against the company. No, I'll just pay you the money, you know, because I don't want to deal with that. So it takes a long time to earn somebody's trust, and there's different levels of how much trust you can earn in somebody, right? So you can have a little bit of trust where you can earn their vote of confidence on small things, but they still don't want you to hang out with their kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's different levels of trust, and as you're building these different levels of trust, it takes one small thing to plummet the trust level, and it's very difficult to build it back. I remember when I was brand new in the Marine Corps, me and Johnny went into a store and got caught shoplifting. You know, and up until that point, I was like this stud young Marine in our squadron, and everybody was like, this kid is awesome. We're gonna try to get him to go MESET and become an officer and a pilot and all this stuff. And at the time, that was kind of the direction I wanted to take. It's this huge deflating thing that happened where I get demoted and all this stuff all over a damn video game. I mean, we're not talking about just stupid 19, 18-year-old kid stuff. But that lieutenant colonel, when he's in JP and me and has me in front of like the sergeant major and all the people that I think are like King Kong at the time, he says, you know, he tells me it's very, very difficult to get trust back once you lose it. Very difficult. So don't lose trust in people. Be honest, be forthcoming, and try to do the right thing with your clients, with your coworkers, with your peers, and think about that, you know, with everything you do. So it's very, very important to me to keep trust between all of us and to keep the trust of our clients in us. So make sure that you're really going the extra mile to let them know that you're doing the right thing. Fast forward a little bit past my NJP, that means non-judicial punishments. I mean, you're no legal crime, but in the military they can screw with you a lot. So they give you 60 days extra preliminary duties, and with a razor blade I had to scrape dried urine out of all the urinals in a 60, 70-year-old military base for 60 days, scraping dried urine out of urinals and wax off of overly waxed buffed floors, and having to check in every 2 hours in January in the frigid cold, had to walk a mile back and forth outside of working hours, multiple times a day doing that. Bunch of bullshit had to go through. But the thing that hurt the most out of that was when that guy that stood there that respected me as a young kid with a lot of promise looks at me and says that it was going to be very difficult for me to earn his trust back. I don't know if I ever did earn his trust back. Or some of those people. Thankfully, with the military, they have a lot of changeover in leadership, and you get to build those relationships. But there is that stigma on your record that goes with you. I ended up getting heavily rewarded and meritoriously promoted and all kinds of stuff over time. But anytime anybody would look at that thing, This is that little black eye on my record. And that's how your reputation is for everything that you do. And it's taken me a long time. And I tell you guys that because at this point I don't care. I'm very successful. I don't shoplift. I don't steal. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. But as a young kid, being naive and stupid, I could cause myself that much damage over something so small. It was like a $50 video game.
It was 3 games. Some people forget.
Well, I can't remember. I didn't remember that. I thought it was one. We were trying to do
And
it
he got caught because I was paying for my stuff.
like an idiot. She was trying to buy stuff. Anyway, no, it was a really shitty, day for me. We got arrested, handcuffed, everything over it. Huge, grandiose thing. I'm sitting there like the fall from grace. I'm the perfect record Marine with the beautiful uniform, and all of a sudden I'm scraping piss out of urinals, and I'm the lowest ranking guy in the squadron. And then as soon as my restriction's over, they sent me to Iraq. I was the lowest ranking Marine in Iraq when I got there. I would have went over there like, one of the 500 lowest ranking Marines there, but instead I was the lowest ranking Marine in the entire country. So it was very, very eye-opening for me, like what one thing can just be catastrophic to your record and to your, the trust that other people have in you, and it was awful. But out of all that, it was that trust factor to building back, because then you couldn't get trusted with, the things that they wanted to allow me to do, and the pace that I had set already being there was crushed from that one thing. So anyway, with clients, with your peers, with your coworkers, people you work with, take very seriously everything you do. And anything that comes up, that you need to let somebody know of, let them know. It's just a big deal.